Today, let's talk about sales. Yeah, that's right. How do we grow sales in our business? Whether it's a competitive market or not, it's always a consistent thing that we need to do is grow sales. Now, I want to warn you, I have yet to see one product or service that is so revolutionary that there are not 2 or 3 other types out there. That's right, we need to be focused in because we are in a competitive market for everything that we have to sell. So, let's talk about how we're going to defend that and actually increase our sales. Now, the first thing I always ask is, what's your sales process? And I usually get this, well, we kind of do this, we do that. Well, it's up to the sales team, but we kind of do something and it's like, no. If you don't have a sales process identified that walks through the 5 buying decisions that the customer has, you're already missing the mark. And that's why you're not going to be able to grow your sales as efficiently and consistently as you want to. So I always start with, show me your sales process. And if they don't have one, we walk through it and I help them set one up, because that's the only way you're going to rise in success for your organization. Now, what does that look like? Well, again, there's 5 buying decisions. So your sales process that everybody in the organization should be using aligns with it. Whether it's customer service, warranty, or the sales team, they need to be following this process. Because here's the deal, a process is something that can be repeated over and over again efficiently. That's why when we get ready in the morning or in the shower, we have great ideas, right? We're not thinking about how we're washing our hair, we're actually just doing it because it's just part of the process. And our mind can move faster. That's what we need in sales, something we can move faster and more efficient, so that way we can actually sell more. I mean, we don't have more time in the day. The only thing that happens is it subtracts, right? We cannot add time to the day. We need to be as efficient as possible. So start with the sales process and make sure you're setting up all of your team to answering the first buying decision that the customer has, which is the salesperson or the person on the phone. Again, whether you're in customer service, it doesn't matter. You need to be making sure that you're answering 3 questions to the customers every time they interact with you, because they're asking this. Do I like you? Do I trust you? And how can you help me? That's right. So we need to focus in on how we do that. If we're not focusing on that, we're just trying to move them off to another person or something, they're going to sense that and they're not going to be happy and they're not going to have a good experience. The customers have to have an exceptional experience if we're going to continue to sell to them or have them sell for us. And we'll get to that later on in this video. But we need to make sure we're setting the foot forward. So if it's a chaotic area or it's loud like a subway or something, people's anxieties are going to go up. So we need to make sure it's quiet and inviting as much as possible so they can have a relaxed conversation with us, because their anxieties probably are already high, especially if they're calling customer service or warranty, right? So we need to make sure that we're addressing those things and how we show up, how we talk to them, if we're meeting them face to face, what colors are we wearing, the scents that are pumped into the area can actually make people react differently. Now, if you haven't already done so, go into a department store like Nordstrom's and see what they do in the women's department compared to men's, kids. They have different lighting, different sounds, and different smells in those environments because different people interact differently to different sounds, sights, and smells. So we need to make sure that we're interacting the customer correctly. And when I walk people through my sales process, I actually help them with the house analogy, how they can go through this, how they interact with the customer, how they fill out the CRM, which is your customer relationship management tool, correctly. Everybody's got to use it, and you'll be more efficient. So when you're engaging the customer, you're going to be on the best foot forward. Now, we're hitting that mark. We also need to make sure that we're identifying their situation, their issues, and the ramifications. If we're not asking the right kind of questions, we're not going to hit the mark. That's right. We're not going to actually help the customer succeed if we don't provide the right solution. That begins with asking the right questions. By asking the right questions, we are going to identify those things, and we're going to find out if our solution is going to help them or not. And if it doesn't help them, hopefully we're telling them how to get the right solution and help them on their way. Because if you're helping people, they will return the favor. It's just how we're wired. Now we're focusing on supporting the customer. What can we do for our organization to help it continually grow? Well, I always recommend one annual training for your teams. One annual training because you need to bring somebody else that brings in a little bit different perspective than what they're currently seeing to help them learn. Think of it as taking one thing away from the new training to put into your toolbox so you can be a better mechanic, right? We need to make sure that we're investing in our teams. So our culture of our organization needs to be one of investing in our teams. As we go through these trainings, we also need to go through a debrief. Just like the pro football players who do game film or the Navy SEALs who do a debrief, we need a debrief and go over what we just learned and how we can apply it together as a team. Because as iron sharpens iron, we all get better. So we need to make sure that we're doing these debriefs and we'll be super successful. Now we also need to supplement those where I say read books or do podcasts together, talk about them on your weekly calls, so that way people can actually learn together more and consistently and keep it going, keep that momentum going. They'll be super successful as well. The other thing we need to be doing is doing competitive analysis. That's right. What's the competitive landscape look like? What's the competition selling? How are they selling? How are they selling against us? What new products do they have? We need to be studying them. We need to know what the competition looks like. Because if we don't, how do we know how to maneuver around them? We need to make sure our teams are consistently doing that. So during that annual training, bring the teams in and keep them for an extra day and have them teach each other what the competition is doing. So they can pick one competitor or one product and teach the other team members. Because the best way for us to learn is to actually teach. But by having this and people learning together, you'll become a stronger team by learning about what's going on and how you guys can defend and how you guys can go on offense against the competition well. So by doing all these things, continually growing, investing, and helping the customer and making sure they're super successful after the sale, you will be rewarded because they will actually sell for you. When's the last time you went to and had a great experience at a restaurant where you couldn't stop raving to all your friends that they need to go try this place out? Same thing will happen for us if we do that well for our customers. They will sell for us. And then it's kind of like farming. Where you do all this work, at the end you have a huge harvest. We need to be doing that for our customers, cultivating that relationship. All right. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. My contact information is below. If you like this video and it's helpful, hit like, share, subscribe. Send it to somebody you think it might help. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.